Hi guys! So today we're doing a mukbang for you as usual, and we're having cauliflower, tempura cauliflower from Trader Joe's and vegetable fried rice also from Trader Joe's. I just added sweet chili sauce to mine because the orange sauce that comes with it is super spicy, so I just put that on his because he likes spicy stuff. And then I add extra vegetables and broccoli to the fried rice and some soy sauce, and it's really good. So if you haven't tried it, you guys should try it. Not sponsored. We just really like Trader Joe's, huh?
We do.
I mean, this is like one of his favorite meals.
This is. Well, you know, I like cauliflower.
Yeah, I don't really.
I used to eat it raw.
I don't like it that much, but it's okay. I like the fried rice a lot. But anyway, today we're gonna, well, again, I'm not the storyteller here. Luis is the storyteller. He's gonna tell you a story from a time when he went to Tokyo, Japan, and something that happened to him there. So
yes,
take it away, baby.
All right. So I went to Tokyo. Well, first of all, okay, let me start over.
Ooh, hot.
I had several roommates during my youth, right? And one of them, who was my last roommate, he liked anime, Japanese animation, and I didn't know anything of it. I might have at one point at Blockbuster Video saw Ninja Scroll.
I love that movie.
And
such a good movie.
But I wasn't really into anime, so he introduced me into anime. He introduced me to, you know, because in anime there's a lot of Japanese culture reference, of course, in anime, and I was enthralled by it. And so we together made a plan that we would someday go to Tokyo, that we would go visit Tokyo, and about a year and a half later, we actually got the opportunity. You know, we were putting money away, and there's this one. I was working as the graveyard shift, or the overnight shift at a resort on the Strip, and we're sitting there because, you know, overnight is pretty slow, and I'm reading a newspaper, and this was also during that time where Bush was going around telling everyone, spend money, you know, go shopping, buy things, just try to get the economy going, because, you know, it was after we were still in that 9/11 thing, and the war in Iraq in Afghanistan was, they were taken off, and so I opened the paper, and there's like a 2-page ad, and it said $189 round trip, and underneath it listed all of these cities, right, and airports, and one of them was Tokyo. And so I went to my supervisor and I said, hi, I would like a leave of absence, please, because, and I explained to her, you know, we've been saving money, we really want to go, this is a perfect opportunity. And she says, she told me that she couldn't give me LOA for that. And so I quit, and we went. 18-hour flight.
You're so crazy.
To Tokyo. Well, I mean, come on.
It's a really good price.
Right.
Really good.
So we're there, and it was an awesome time. I do not regret how I went, and I'm really glad that I went. The opportunity presented itself, I took advantage of it, we went. So that's how we got there, right? So it went in Rome, because so when you're in Tokyo, yes, you could have American food, but it's super expensive there, super expensive. So, you know, you would have to eat sushi. They had these really amazing, like, rice balls with meat inside, but on occasion, we would want to have a hamburger. And there was one time we went to Wendy's.
Close your ears, vegans.
One time we went to Wendy's, and we got
this was a long time ago.
Hamburger, right? Hamburger and a drink. And now we're just walking around. You know, he had finished his, and I was still eating mine. And we're just walking. We're sightseeing, and before I go into it, Japanese people, super nice. Super nice. So much so that 14 years later, if a Japanese person tourist comes to me, asking me for direct, I go out of my way to make sure that they're taken care of, because they really took care of me.
That's nice.
I was super impressed because we had a Japanese to English to Japanese dictionary, and whenever we would try to ask for directions, I would try to communicate with them, and every single person that we came across and we asked for directions spoke English. And so they were able to, you know, to give us directions, give us some tips on where to go sightseeing. So anyway, so we're at a crosswalk and we can't go because the traffic is there, and I'm eating my hamburger and I'm drinking, and all of a sudden I get a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around, and it's the police. It's 2 policemen, right? And they tell me, because I'm the one eating, it's against the law to eat and drink on the sidewalks. When you purchase something, I guess you have to eat it where you purchase it, and you know, and then go about your business. So I'm walking around. So pretty much on that, every other corner or so, there's this like tiny, like a booth where maybe 10 people max can fit inside this little building. And so they took me there, and you know, they told me it's against the law, this and that. And he asked me, would you like me to contact your embassy? This is after I told him, you know, I'm an American, this and that.
That would freak me out.
And I was confused. I asked them, am I in that kind of trouble? And because I don't know what the culture is. And he said, no, but I am required to ask you that. And I said, no, that's okay. And so they were there for several hours. They take pictures, profile pictures of me. They take a copy of my passport, fingerprints, off of this thing, right? And so we're there for a couple hours, and at the end of it, once they were finished processing me, I guess as a cultural criminal, they gave me my food back, right? So I look at the door, and I look at my food, and there's a wastebasket near it, so I just toss it in the wastebasket, and we moved on. And that's that. That was it.
That was how we got arrested in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God you didn't get trapped there in jail.
And then, you know, after that, then you realize, oh yeah, not only is no one eating or drinking while they're on the public walkways, but it is so pristine over there.
Clean.
Yes. Super pristine. Sidewalks did not have any, you know, at least when I was growing up, walking everywhere, you'd always see, like, you know, those gum spots, you know, on the sidewalks, and there were no gum spots. There's no trash anywhere. Tokyo, all in all, is a clean place, and I think that's why, maybe that's why they have it. You know, that
most likely.
I don't even know if it's a law, maybe it's a custom, but anyway, that's how they chose to inform me.
Well, this was over 10 years ago, so it could be different now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was before he met me, so.
This was 14 years ago, yep.
So, what else did you do while you were in Tokyo?
We, I guess once a year, the emperor opens his gardens, open to the public.
Only once a year?
Mm-hmm. Like there's like a season, like one season where he opens the grounds, and you're able to come in, and it's massive. You know, whenever I think of Tokyo, I always think of congestion. You know, things built on top of each other because space is so limited there, and the grounds that were open to the public, it's just a contrast to that. There's wide open spaces, fields of, you know, trees, cherry trees, blossoms, flowers. There's this, it's not a river, but it was, you know, like a small little river with koi fish, just big and fat, and just people everywhere. And it was really cool because there were some people dressed in, I don't know if it's kimono, but they were in those garbs, men and women, and on those wooden
shoes.
Like, I'm not sure they're called shoes, but those wooden shoes.
The ones with the platform.
Yeah, and that was really cool to see that,
platforms.
because prior to that, I had only seen those kind of images in anime, in the anime that I'd watched with my roommate, and that was really nice. And we just walked everywhere. It was awesome. So, but we ran out of money, and our second to the last day, because you know what took the majority of our money was the room and board. Our hotel room was super expensive.
But it was tiny, right?
It's super tiny. If I were to stretch out my arms, both my middle fingers can touch each side of the walls. And there were bunk beds, which was really nice because the bunk beds were positioned, they were set against the window. And so in the mornings when we woke up, we would open up the blinds and lay in bed, and you know, the busyness of the morning commute, etc., was out there in front of us, and it was really nice.
Could you see a freeway from there? They
No,
have freeways, right?
They do. It was a road, you know, with sidewalks, and just being on either. So we're on this side. If we were to cross the street, on the other side, you can see a subway station, Tokyo's subway station. Mm-hmm. It was right there, which made it really convenient afterwards, because we then started, since we couldn't pay for the hotel anymore, because we had to make a decision, either hotel or what little left we had for food. We chose the latter, and so we used. At the subway station, there were those bag like lockers where you can stash your stuff in. So we used that. It was a lot of walking.
So then you slept at the subway station, or you only slept at the airport before you left?
So we were scheduled to leave Wednesday afternoon. So Tuesday morning when we checked out, we have nothing to do. We have no money at this point. And so we decided, well, why don't we just go to the airport and just hang out at the airport. And so we did. It's kind of like, you know, The Terminal?
Oh, God. I don't like that movie. It's one of his favorite movies.
Really?
Oh, wait, no, The Terminal.
The Terminal.
I'm thinking of
Lost in Translation, which is a good movie.
I love The Terminal. I don't like Lost in Translation. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
Okay.
But that's what I did the last day that I was in Texas. I spent the whole day at the airport because I had to check out of my hotel and my flight wasn't until late.
Mm-hmm.
And
so we stayed overnight at the airport.
Yeah, I didn't, but.
And so we had no money every time we felt hungry. So we chose a spot where the seats that were near the restrooms, and at the restrooms were water fountains. And so we decided, well, every time we feel hungry, we would go drink water, pretty much. And so that's what we did.
Yeah. So and then on the plane.
So on the plane.
Oh,
now.
There goes my phone.
I'm used to. I was used to. You know, with my mom, things were hard, and so I told Alex, because on the flight it was 18 hours, and so we would get 2 meals. And I told him, in the first meal, whatever you do, don't scarf it down. I know you're hungry. And I know it's going to be super enticing when it's in front of you, but don't scarf it down. Take your time, as you normally would, right? And so our meals arrive, and what does he do? He scarfs it. What happens to him? He gets sick. He has to run to the restroom and relieve himself. He was there for quite a while. And when he came back, I was still eating my food because I was taking my time. And then he asked me if you could have some of mine. I said no.
You just threw up all your food. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna give you some of mine.
What's super weird is that we left Wednesday afternoon, Narita Airport, and we arrived in Vegas Wednesday morning, which was super weird.
Go backwards in time.
Mm-hmm. May I have a bonus story?
Of course.
So the guy I went with to Tokyo was my 4th roommate. My 2nd roommate, who we'll call Brandon, he was a nudist. Now, I didn't know this at first. So there was a time before I met you that I had enough of my mom, and so I wanted to get my own place, and so I did. And originally, Brandon I didn't even know who he was. I never met him before. But Brandon and I had a mutual friend who I worked with. Our mutual friend got into a fight with his girlfriend, and she kicked him out. And he found out that I was getting my own place, and so he asked if I can move in. So I said yes. At first, I was going to rent a 1-bedroom apartment, but we managed to change it into 2 bedrooms, so that way he and I can have our own rooms. So we move in, everything's great, and about a month goes by, and he tells me, hey, my girlfriend and I were going to get back together again. And I said, wow, I can't afford this place by myself. He goes, don't worry. I have this guy who needs a place. He's willing to move in right now, right? Brandon. So I meet him for the first time. Again, I've never met him before in my life. He moves in. We spent those next couple of days getting to know each other. I had just bought, and to this day, I have never again purchased a piece of furniture, but I had just bought this awesome, super cool couch, and I was super proud of myself because this is my first couch. This is my own furniture. Okay? So the way the apartment is when you open the door, you're in the living room, and on the right wall here was our television, and across from the television was my beautiful couch, and then to the left is the dining area and then the kitchen, right? And then if you keep going straight ahead, there's a hallway where the restrooms were, and then our two bedrooms were there. So as soon as you walk in, so as soon as you open the door, you can see the couch, my beautiful couch. So I open the door, and at that time I worked the swing shift. So my shift was like 4. So at this time, I was working the night shift, 4 p.m. and 12 a.m. So there I am, I open the door, and who's sitting on my couch, butt naked, is Brandon. Sitting there, manspreading and everything on my...
What?
Manspreading.
Manspreading.
Mm-hmm.
I have never heard that before.
Manspreading.
So does that mean airing out his junk?
His Johnson.
He's airing like
Well,
with his
he's
legs
just sitting,
spread?
yeah, just spread out, super
me?
comfortable,
Spread eagle.
TV remote in his hand, watching. Think about Brandon, he loved watching the news. Loved it. In fact, Brandon introduced me to CNN.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And especially that time, because, you know, after that, shortly after 9/11 happened, so we were both glued. Imagine, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Brandon was naked. I'm like, man, what is this? What are you doing? He goes, oh yeah, I'm a nudist, and I figured this is my home. I'm going to be naked, and super awkward. And so I told him, oh, fine, this is fine. You do you, but if you're gonna be sitting on my couch, put a towel or something there, okay? Put a towel on the bottom so you can sit on the towel, okay? He agrees to this. Now, side note, imagine, and it was a long couch, so there would be like my own cushion, space, his cushion. So imagine, if you will, us watching 9/11 footage, okay, or the news after that, him naked, sitting on the towel on my couch, me over here, trying to, so I can watch the television, because, you know, we were all glued to the TV back then. The thing about Brandon is, he was a ladies' man. This man had a different girlfriend, and I'm not even exaggerating, every weekend, because he had a 9-to-5, Monday to Friday job, so every weekend it would be a different girl at the apartment.
Well, that's not a girlfriend, baby. That's called a booty call.
Okay, different girl. And there's this one time where I'm, you know, I loved coffee even back then, and so it's kind of like 2 in the morning, and I'm at the kitchen, and I'm waiting for the coffee, the Mr. Coffee I had to finish brewing its pot. Meanwhile, there's his girlfriend, or booty call, or flavor of the week. I don't know if these people, why is she naked? So she's naked. She's naked with her cup ready to have the coffee. I'm there too, ready to have my coffee. But which, by the way, that's my coffee in that pot that's brewing. But you know what? At least this girl, because I prepared the coffee. I know how to make coffee, and so she enjoyed it. And so Brandon and I, we were together for better part of a year, because he left just before our lease was up. So the better part of that year, Brandon and I were together. We lived together, and he'd always be naked in the apartment.
So awkward. I don't think I could handle that.
Some people just don't care. Like this is me.
I don't think I can handle it.
You know?
Yeah, like I gotta go or you gotta go.
Yeah.
Like I'm not comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me.
Mm-hmm. But at least he achieved something for the rest of my life. I will never forget him.
Yeah, he's definitely memorable.
Mm-hmm. So that's my bonus story.
All right, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching my little broccoli bites, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye!